Okay, well, welcome back everybody, Mr. Brian's Amazing World. Well, we're working on our rototiller here. Basically, what happened is I was rototilling and all of a sudden everything was working great and ka-ching-ting, and that was it. Turns out, snapped the connecting rod and you can see the scoring on these bearings here, so the crankshaft is done as well. What it was, a mouse managed to fill all these fins with insulation. And when the shroud and everything was on it, it looked just like this. You couldn't see anything wrong with it. It was working fine. Well, worked good for about, I don't know, 25 minutes, and that was about it. It was done. So a buddy of mine said, hey, I have an engine for you. I was like, oh, perfect, same engine. I mean, it's the exact same thing that was on there. But it needed a gas tank and it needed a carburetor. No problem, I have those. They work fine. So I got the engine, swapped it over, put it on. No spark. It's like, oh, you gotta be kidding me. Now I got two broken engines, no spark, a rototiller, and I need to get moving. I mean, it's cold. Well, it's mid-May right now and it's freezing outside, which is really bizarre, but we need to be rototilling and get this done. So what we did, we ordered one of these guys. Now, this here is a Predator engine, 6.5 horsepower, 212 cc's. Ta-da! Just like that. Great little engine. A measly $100 gets you this engine. And man, we've used one of these before on a mini bike build. Really surprised at how well it actually worked. I was rather shocked. Of course, for the mini bike, we had to pull the tank off and we had to reroute the exhaust and weld some stuff up, but overall, it was a piece of cake. We also had a cool clutch assembly that went on here, which gave you a constant variable transmission. It's kind of like a snowmobile clutch. However, for this rototiller, it has these bolt holes here, and you just slide the old pulley on there. Should go pretty smooth. So hopefully this all works out. Like I said, we got to take this bolt out down below here, and these 4 bolts inside there, unscrew this, and boom, the engine pops right off. That's the greatest things about these old horse rototillers. They're made of solid cast steel and they are ready to go for hundreds and hundreds of years, and you just keep putting new engines on them if you need to. So follow along, let's swap this over and we'll fire this up. And one of the cool things is we've had quite a few requests to have the wife do some cold starts on a bunch of our stuff here. So we're gonna have her fire this engine up for the first time. And well, we gotta put oil in it and gas in it. But other than that, it shouldn't take too long to get this together. Okay. So that took all of 2 minutes, 5 minutes maybe, and it's the 4 bolts right here, and it slides right off the pulley there with the keyway. Luckily, the new engine comes with a new keyway, and it's kind of easy if you leave these bolts sticking in there, because you're never going to be able to get your fingers in there and mess with it later. Make sure your belt's good, and also make sure you have a good reverse disc on it. This one we had just replaced. We have a video on that. So if you have no reverse on your rototiller, that's what you need. And all it does is rub on this bottom here and make it go backwards. Piece of cake. So let's just, I found if you leave it like that, you can just slide everything right into that shaft and go. I have seen people take this whole thing apart here to be able to swing this cage over. And yes, you could do that as well, but you don't have to. You can do it this way and it'll save you a bunch of time and aggravation. Seriously, awesome that engines pop off that quick. So let's get this other one on there. Well, we found a little hiccup here. Basically, let me see if I can get this right. This is the old bolt from the old crankshaft, and it's too big. This is a 3/8 24. You need a 5/16 24, and then that will fit in there. Luckily, this thread is the same thread that's holding all these bolts on the side. So if you just take this with you to go match it up, well, should be a piece of cake. It went right in there before. It does go in there. It's just tricky to line it up. There you go. So that's the same thread as that, and that's the new bolt you need to be able to mount all this on at the end. That's the only glitch we had so far, and I mean our bolt was longer and didn't have threads, so we had to cut new threads on it and make it longer rather than run to the hardware store, but we did figure something out. So now we can finish bolting this together. All right, well, there we have it. There's our engine all in and mounted and ready to start. Just have to wait for Mom to get home here. She's getting the ultrasound done as we speak on our baby, and I wasn't allowed to go because of this pandemic. I did luckily get to see her on FaceTime. It's pretty cool, or him, we don't know what it is. But as soon as she gets here, she can fire this thing up, and well, I'll see how this goes. All gassed up, oiled up, and we're excited. All right, well, she's back, and she's ready to fire this thing up. So, yeah, I explained that you were at a ultrasound, so.
Oh,
woohoo.
okay. Yeah.
Needless to say, the first thing we have to do is turn the switch on. Next, you got to turn the fuel on. There you go, fuel's on. We're in the choke. And let's see, if throttle is this way a little bit. Go ahead and pull. You probably have to give 2 pulls and she'll probably fire right up.
Okay.
Go ahead, pull it. And by the way, this is still cold. Has never been started. Whole engine's freezing cold. 1 pull, and this fired right up. Look at that, that's awesome. And man, it's so much quieter. So much.
1 time.
1 pull. First one was like a little la-di-da, plop, plop, plop. Cool. See, obviously our electric start and key switch doesn't work anymore. And if we decide to hook up our throttle cable for now, we'll just fire this thing up and get it running and do what we have to do. We're gonna have to move or adjust or figure this out because it should be pushing instead of pulling, so I don't know. We'll see how that makes out. Needless to say, it's up and running. It's all mounted, our horse rototiller. She's ready to go again. Oh, I can't wait. Let's go get some stuff done, right, babe?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. Ooh, boy, you look pretty hot behind that thing. Yeah, let's take it. So, like and subscribe, Mr. Brian's Amazing World. This is a Predator engine. Awesome, cheap, works that well. And definitely make sure you shut the fuel off all the time and try to run it all out of there and put stuff in there to preserve it at the end of the year or when you're done using it, because you don't want to have to pull this carburetor apart and clean it. Other than that, go for it. Measly $100 engine. How do you go wrong? Well, there you have it. You can see how easy this is. She's never done this before. Chilling away. It's working great. Let her dig in there a little more. There you go. And slowly tilling up this field. Never been tilled before. That's awesome. Getting rid of all these briars and oh, that's great. What a great little machine this horse is. Nice and quiet. I like it. I'll take it. There's Mom out there mowing. Boy, even Mama had to get in on the action. Give this thing a try. It's working so well. How you doing?
Great.
Great, you like it?
Yeah.
Sure beats hoeing this, doesn't it?
Oh my God, what a difference.
Yeah, dude. Chewing that right up. And we'll make a couple passes. I mean, you got 1 pass right through here. And you can see we made multiple passes down into here. And I mean, this is some awesome stuff. And we'll grind it again. Super cool. And there's Faith way out there mowing. First time on a mower. I know. Both of you. First time tilling, first time mowing. It's cool. Go ahead, pick it up. There you go. Like you've done this before. What was that? Exactly. Awesome. Mr. Brian's Amazing World. Check out our other videos. We got awesome stuff going on. You have a great day.